So hello friends, welcome back, and I'm starting the new series. It is the interview preparation series. So starting off with the arrays, and the first question which we have is maximum sum continuous subarray. Although the subarray is continuous itself, but still. Okay. So first of all, we will read the problem statement, and then we will move on to the approach, like how to approach in an actual interview. So we have the first and only argument. So the first thing which will be stated is an array A. Okay, very fine. Then we have to return an integer which gives the maximum sum. We have to return the maximum sum. Very fine. Now let's see the constraints, because the constraint gives us a clear idea that what should be the range, or what should be the like O of n square, O of n, O of n log n. It gives us the idea about that. So n is less than equal to 1 is 6, which means n is power 6. It means that our complexity should be O of n log n or O of n, like this. But as you can see that if I have to return the maximum subarray sum, so if I have the element, suppose let's say I have the array like this, -2, I am having this example, this one, -2, 1, -3, 4, -1, 2, 1, -5 and 4. So the first thing which comes in my mind is that what I should do, I should find all the subarrays, and I will find the sum of all the subarrays, and I will give my answer. But the brute force will take off n square time, and I don't want it. So let me break it. So if you clearly think that if my array was only -2, so my answer would be -2 only. Okay, if my array was -2, 1, then what I will do, see, one option I had, I will have this sum which is -1, or I have only this which is 1. So I will have the maximum one which is 1. Okay, if my array is -2, 1, -3, so one thing which I can have is the sum this, which would be, see, it was -1 and now I added -3, it should be -4. Okay, -4. Or I can, what I can should do, if I have 1 here, then I should add -3 in it. But I get -2. So as you can clearly see that I knew the answer this, from 2 to 1 I had -1 as the sum from here. So what I did, I just added this -3 in this -1. I have this -4. I add this -3 in this one, I obtain this -2. So the first thing is that if I do the prefix sum, then it will help me. Now you will say, Aryan, okay, so if you are saying prefix sum, so should I make an array of prefix sum? What I will say is that, okay, if you make an array of this, because see, in general case what we do is we make an array for it. But if I say that if you make an array, then you will have O of n as the space, but I can reduce it to O of 1. You know how? See, very clearly you can see that for it is very sure that I want a maximum answer, and if I want a maximum answer, so see, if a larger number, if I add anything in a larger number, it would be larger. So this -1 will never help to obtain a larger answer, which means if I have -1 and 1 as my two options, I will always opt for the higher element, because it will have the higher value, which means that in the case this, let me write it here, a is equals to -2, 1, -3. So the one sum which I obtained was -4, and the another I obtained was -2. So it is very sure that I would obtain my answer because of this larger value, which was 1. So I added -3 and I got -2. But still you must be thinking that, Aryan, you obtained the sum 1 as the highest sum, so why are you worrying for this -2? Because see, it might happen that the next element, it could be like something big, like 11, and the next one is also big, you know. Let's take something, something. Okay, so it might happen that I had 6 here. Okay, so as you can see that if I have some sum, and if it is increasing, means if it not become negative, see if it become negative, so it is no point in adding it to the further values, because it will basically decrease only, the value will decrease only. So now the final thing which comes in my mind is that, so if my array is this -2 1 -3 4 -1 2 1 -5 and 4, then see up till now my sum was -2. For this the one option is -2 plus 1, but it is not required because -2 is having the minus sum, so I will not add in my next value, so I will just have my answer 1. Okay, then I add this in my next value, so I get -2. So up till now the maximum sum which I couldn't get is -2, but when I go from -2 to the next value, this 4, then as you can see that -2 I will not add in the next value, because see whenever you get a negative value you will not add it, because it will not help in further operations. So up till now I have my answer as 4. Now I will add -1, so I get -3, but so up till now my answer, maximum answer is -3, which is this 3. Okay, then I had 2, so I add 2 in it, which gives me 3 plus 2, which is 5. Then I have this 1. Okay, so I add 1 in 5. Understanding how I am doing, I am just seeing the previous value, and whenever the value becomes negative I will mark 0 and I will start from fresh. But if it is not negative, then I will check up till now what I have obtained the maximum sum, which will be stored in the prefix sum, because I am doing a prefix sum, and I will add my further value and I will obtain my answer. Then I will add my further value, I will obtain my answer. I will add 5 in 1, I will obtain my answer as 6. Then I will add 6 in 5 -5, then I will obtain 1. I will add 1 in 5, I will obtain 5. 1 in 4, I will obtain 5. So you can clearly see that my maximum sum was 6. Maximum sum. So the final intuition which I can have is, I will have a prefix sum and I will have a maximum sum. The prefix sum will store the sum at every stage, which means this -2 -1 and this, so it will update it like this, and maximum sum will have our maximum of all the prefix sums. So how you will write the code? See, as in the whiteboard interview, you have to write the code on whiteboard or on the piece of paper. So let us write the code here. So first of all, the code will be like this, like you will have int prefix sum. So initially it would be 0 because I need to add numbers to it, and I have a maximum sum which will be int max. Okay, then as it is stated that I will be having a function like this int, what you need to obtain is maximum subarray sum, and what I will be having is vector of you can say I will be having an array A, and I need to write this function. So I have my prefix sum and I have my maximum sum, and sorry, it will be int minim because I need to have the maximum value, so I will initially mark it as minimum. Then I will run a loop for int I is equals to 0, I is less than a dot size. Basically a dot size will have the size which is the n, a plus I plus plus. Then first of all, the first thing I need to do is to mark my add the value in my prefix sum. So prefix sum plus is equals to a of I. Next, what I can do is I need to check up till now, what is the maximum value of the prefix sum? So if prefix sum is more than maximum sum, then what I will do, I will mark my maximum sum as the prefix sum. Okay, fine. See, up till now what I have written is that I will do the prefix sum at every step, and after doing the prefix sum I will always check that up till now what is the maximum value I can obtain from that prefixes. And the one thing you should note that while doing the prefix sum, although I am doing the prefix sum here, but as soon as the prefix becomes negative, I will update it to 0, so that when I add it in my next value, I will obtain a number which is positive. So 1 minus 3, it becomes minus 2, but in next iteration I update it to 0, so I add 4 to it to get 4. So here, as you can see, that if my prefix sum, it is less than 0, so I will mark my prefix sum as 0. Thus my function is complete. So I will close my for loop here, and I will close my function here. But before closing function, I will return the maximum sum, which is the max underscore sum. And thus let me erase it. Yeah, and thus as you can see that we have written our function. Okay, so I hope that you guys got the intuition and everything, like how we approached it and how we made the complexity of the solution as O of n. It is the time complexity, and the space complexity is, as you know, that you have not used any prefixes, array or like that, so it will be O of 1 only, which means that you have not used any extra memory in it. Thus it is the answer. So I hope that you guys like the video, and for more such videos and more such round solutions, please subscribe to our channel, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.